I think a big part of the appeal of shows is that you can get invested in them over a long period of time. A lot of shows I watch that are new to me, I'll finish them and feel kind of empty and unfulfilled. I'll recognize it as a good show, but there isn't really any lasting impact on me. Then there are the outstandingly, overwhelmingly good shows which I can watch and become so invested with the story and characters that it feels like all their shows I've seen simply cannot compare. And during my investment, I'm constantly referencing it with friends, discussing it with the community online, watching video essays about it, and all that. There are several different shows of several different varieties that have had this effect on me, but recently I rewatched Steven Universe. I had seen the main series before, but I had never seen the movie or the spin-off, and rewatching it reminded me what that good show feeling feels like. I became very emotionally invested in the story and characters, and all the entertainment I would normally engage in reminded me of a time before I rewatched the show. And they were certainly not bad memories, they were just temporarily very boring to me. Almost everything unrelated to Steven Universe was boring to me. Getting emotionally invested in a show such as this is tremendously fun, and I wish the feeling could never end. But it can't last forever. And throughout my viewing of the show, there was a thought that would cross my mind occasionally. Not a shattering realization or anything, just a random passing thought. It was a mildly disappointing thought. The thought being, the show will be over eventually. Early on in my viewing, when this thought would cross my mind, I would think, oh, well, I have plenty of the show left, it'll be fine. It'll last ages. But as my viewing went on, that thought turned to a sort of dread. Still, nothing earth-shattering, just a passing thought, but nonetheless it was mildly sad and disappointing. I got closer and closer to the end, and eventually I finished the final episode. And when I did, I had so many thoughts going through my head that all I wanted to do was think about them. I just walked outside and thought about how the show ended, how I felt about it, and its totality in general. I felt so content and happy with the ending. Sure, I felt a little sad and disappointed that it was over, but that was overshadowed by the feelings of satisfaction I had for finishing the show and having been on that journey. This brings me to another project, Unus Annus. If you've never heard of it, Unus Annus, which means 1 year in Latin, was a YouTube channel created by two friends, Mark and Ethan. It was a representational work of art in the medium of a YouTube channel. They created the channel on November 13th, 2019, and they would post one video to it every single day for an entire year, and they didn't miss a single upload. And the videos were certainly not rushed. It was not just the two of them working on the channel, they had some friends helping them out. The videos themselves were not representationally artistic, they were just trying new experiences. So after the 1 year was over, what did they do with the channel? Well, they deleted it. That was the entire plan from the beginning. This was to represent the idea of losing a loved one and mourning their death. Remembering death is the general theme they had for the channel. Memento Mori, or Remember Death in Latin, was almost like their catchphrase. On November 13th, 2020, they did a live stream.
Unus Annus.
See you on the other side.
See you on the other
But
side.
once the timer in the background hit 0, they deleted the channel for good. The day after this, they both uploaded videos to their main channels, talking about the way they felt of the deletion of Unus Annus and how it impacted them. There are a couple things Mark says in his video I find important here. The first thing Mark says is,
I firmly believe that the entirety of what something is cannot be truly appreciated until it ends. You don't look back on what it was, you don't look back on all the minutiae of the detail of how it came to be until it's already gone.
I really like that philosophy, and it definitely applies to the feelings I had after finishing Steven Universe. I never truly appreciated it until I was finished watching it. I never truly realized that it would end one day, but then it did, and I felt more content than I ever had with anything before in my entire life. In the same video, Mark says this,
I hope I can approach my own death with the same sense of contentment and satisfaction that I walked into that last stream yesterday.
I hope that I can approach my death with the same content and satisfaction that I had when I finished Steven Universe. Have a good one.